Hey guys, welcome to my review of Suicide Squad. I just came back from watching the film and I had to get my Batman Under Armour for the review. I wrote down some notes. I have good things and I have bad things, and I'm gonna talk in detail about what I liked and what I didn't like, and then I'm gonna give like an overall score of the movie and what I feel like it's gonna do for the future of DC and its universe. Okay, so the characters that stood out for me was Deadshot, Will Smith's character, Harley Quinn, Margaret Robbie, um, Jared Leto's Joker a bit, Amanda Waller, Viola Davis, um, hmm, I that's it actually. From a whole film filled with bad guys, you think a lot more would stand out, but um, I feel like their backstories were a bit rushed, and some characters were not written well into the thing, and they were also flushed out basically. Let me go with what I liked about Deadshot. It was a typical Will Smith character, you know, the bad guy, but just good morals and not fully a bad guy, but just has that gold heart or good in him. Um, it was a typical Will Smith character. I like that because it's Will Smith. Um, I liked his I liked his backstory a bit, but then I felt like it was still a bit rushed with the whole how Batman caught him and that scene. I didn't like that scene because it looked cheap. I don't want to seem rude, but it just looked cheap and rush. Um, and then, but I did like his story with his first, well, not his first, but one of his hitman assignments, how he was trying to get the guy to pay him money to kill the guy. That was really interesting and well done. I liked Harley Quinn. I liked her backstory. Um, but at the same time, it was rushed as well. We know that story from the Mad Love one in the comics with like Batman, not Batman, the Joker and Harley Quinn. It was still a bit rushed. It showed how she was falling in love with him, and they did tease how she gets tortured by him, and then she becomes the abusive, like she gets abused by him, and that shows their abusive relationship. I do like that storyline. I feel like they just teased that a bit, so just scratching the surface. um I feel like she and Will Smith's character Deadshot stole the show. I really liked those two a lot. They had good, well, more Harley Quinn had good one-liners. I liked how she said to Katana, like, "What's that perfume scent? Is that the smell of death?" I really liked that one-liner. Um, I feel like she had a good drive in the film, how she was just trying to get as far so that she can get to Joker. But then afterwards, when she thought that he died, she just kept on going because she didn't have anything else to do. I feel like they just showcased a little of Harley Quinn, and they're gonna show that in more, maybe in the potential Batman solo movie with the Joker as well. And then speaking of the Joker, I feel like they didn't show him a lot, and it was disappointing because I mean, it's not his movie, but like they showed him so little where you're just like, okay, who is this Joker? How is he different from the Joker that we've seen before? And what is he really like? What is he really all about, right? Because if I feel like you appreciate this Joker just because you know of the Joker's history. They didn't really show what this new Joker is, and I feel like they're gonna do that in future installments. Because his only drive in this was just to get Harley Quinn, but like they didn't show it because of he needs her, because that's they feed off each other and their psychotic behaviors and their craziness. They feed off each other because of that. They didn't show that. They showed it because he just wants her because that's his partner. That's the people that Harley Quinn makes everyone jealous that the Joker has her. Um, so that's his character. And then I really liked Amanda Waller, Viola Davis's character. They showed her being sinister, dark. They showed that she was doing this and she got somewhat of a thrill of it. Like the look that she got when Deadshot was shooting the target. She's just like, this is my doing. This is my doing. Um, and then I think I liked a bit how they showed how she just killed her coworkers. Like, oh, they're not meant for this. Like, we got to get out of here. They couldn't handle this. But then at the same time, it was a bit shocking. Um, but her character stood out as the same with Deadshot and Harley Quinn. And then I feel like the other characters, they got washed out a bit because of their backstories. Their backstories were rushed. Like Katana's was like, they're like, oh, where were you? What took you so long? And then she was just killing these guys. And it just showed her story, how she was trying to seek revenge for her husband who was murdered. And then that was that. That's all you got from there. So it's like, are you going to introduce her more in other installments? Like, it didn't give you enough to say, okay, I'm satisfied with this, I want to learn more. It was just like, a what? Like, I know her story from mostly because of Arrow. If you watch that, they had like a whole good season on her, so that's where I know her from. And that's why I feel like if you know these characters, because like I love DC a lot. If you know these characters, then you're okay with watching the film. If you don't, then you're just gonna be lost. Like, you need more development in them. El Diablo, his backstory was interesting, yet it was a bit rushed, as all of them were, and it just leaves you wanting more. You're just like, okay, did his family die because, well, I guess he burned the whole house down, but it's just like, what did he do after that? And what happened in there? Because we saw his wife in his arms, and then she just disintegrated, basically. So it's like, how did she really die from him burning her? Like, that wasn't really clear. Going back to Katana, her character, I feel like, was wasted. She was there to just be there in case the guys go out of line. But I mean, can't you just kill them? It's a Suicide Squad. She didn't really have cool sequences. Like, they showed in the trailer, like, more detail of her sword and how the souls are coming from it or going into it. They didn't have that in the movie, which I was disappointed about. Yet again, she needs more backstory. Killer Croc did not have a backstory at all. I forgot he was in the movie. Like, until he came up, I was like, oh, you're part of the squad. Okay. I totally forgot about him. Out of all the backstories, I feel like Harley Quinn's is the one that you want to go into more, because they showed her falling in love with the Joker. They showed her going into the pit voluntarily, so wanting to become of him. But then that was that. That's all you got. So they're really, I guess, saving these guys for future installments. But it's a shame because those guys, they stood out because they're the most famous villains in the DC, well, of Batman's villains, and basically, I guess, the DC universe. Captain Boomerang, underwritten. I only knew he was there because of Jay Courtney and how he's from the Divergent series. I guess that's it for... Oh, Rick Flag. Amanda Waller's right-hand man. I feel like he was underwritten as well, but like, there was just like, you needed to know, okay, why did he fall in love with June Moon, who is the Enchantress? And why does he care so much for her? I feel like there just needs to be more detail into these characters. And the Enchantress, she was just used as a plot point. Like, there was a point where I forgot that she was the villain until I was like, okay, that's the point C that they need to get to, because the movie, they led up to point A to point B to point C, and then it was confusing how they were assigned as like a rescue mission to get to Viola Davis, Amanda Waller, and then I was like, oh, okay, so she's the person they had to save. And then after that, it was like, oh yes, and the Enchantress, you guys have to stop her. So that was, it was a bit muddled, but then at the end it started to get better. I really appreciate Harley Quinn's job in this film. It made it entertaining. It made you wanting to know more. It was really nice. Okay, good points. Harley Quinn, that's the only good point that I like from the film. The bad points, there's a lot of them. The music was too loud. Like when they were getting their weapons and equipment, they just blared Eminem's music so loud. It took you out of the moment, I guess. And then there was parts where they were like the music was over. It was so loud that you couldn't hear what they were saying. So I was just like, can I hear what they're saying, please? Um, the plot was it was okay. Um, Story development was really lacking. I guess their only point was to just give you a taste of Batman, Joker, and Harley Quinn and how they're going to be in future installments. The scene cutting, I did not like how they cut scenes. They were just like, it would be like they're walking and then it would just cut to a different angle, cut to another different angle. And then there was like a point where Rick Flag was taken for the second time. So then they all huddled around him. And then it cut to the next scene and Harley Quinn's over there and they're all spread out. It's like, when did that happen? When did you guys move? Um, I didn't like how they portrayed Harley's fantasy because the Enchantress tricked them. She was showing them one of her mind tricks of how of what each character really wants in life. So they showed Deadshot wanting to kill the Batman because he wanted to kill him, but he didn't want his daughter didn't want him to kill him. Um, so I guess that was okay. But going back to Harley, I didn't like how they had Harley's fantasy as this normal life with the Joker and him being normal, him not having the damaged skin and the green hair, and she's having kids with him. That's not the Harley that we know. We know her as this crazy woman who loves her crazy relationship with this other crazy man. I didn't like that. That was a bit confusing, but I don't know where they're going with that story. I hope they continue with the whole the Joker and Harley Quinn with their whole abusive relationship. They teased that in the beginning where he's torturing her and she's like, I can take it. I didn't like that, and also didn't like the Batman and the Batmobile car chase with the Joker and Harley Quinn and their Lamborghini. That was too short. I mean, you shot that in downtown Toronto and you shut down all of Toronto, and then just for a 2-second chase scene, like he just drove it right into the water, and then a Batman caught Harley Quinn. I didn't like that, but what I liked out of that scene, I liked how Batman saved her because he's not gonna let someone die. Although in Batman v Superman he kills people, but I guess his mission was to save Harley Quinn. I liked how she kissed him when he was giving her mouth to mouth. That was the twisted Harley that we know. And then he knocked her out after that. I liked that. Let's see. I mentioned before the Batman and the Deadshot scene was rushed and it looked cheap. The Enchantress was just used as a plot point. Like, oh, she's the bad guy that they have to get. I feel like I sort of don't like it as a plot point. I mean, because at the beginning it shows her drive of why she is the villain and going after Amanda Waller because she has control over her. But then they just it's just like, oh, we need to stop her. It wasn't really any, I don't know. It just felt poorly written. What else is there? I didn't really like the reveal of them having to save Amanda Waller. It was confusing. That part felt muddled. And then, muddled, sloppy, confusing. But then after that, it picked up. I really, really, really liked Harley Quinn, though, in it. I liked how the Joker is like, oh, get ready, I'm here to save you. And then she jumped, and then she got onto the helicopter, and then she was all crazy going around with the rope. I liked that part. But then when he died, I felt bad for her, but I knew he wasn't dead. I felt bad for her because that's the guy that she likes. She likes him and she likes his craziness, and that's the relationship. But I feel like they need to delve into that a bit more, which I guess they're saving for future installments. Captain Boomerang, underwritten, like I said again. And his scene with the Flash was too quick. I feel like that is just a nod because Captain Boomerang is the Flash's villain. But I guess you have to wait to see him in Justice League. I guess that's it for what I liked and what I didn't like out of Suicide Squad. However, though, overall, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I didn't like it more than Batman v Superman. Like, I loved Batman v Superman a lot, and then a lot of people didn't like it. And then, like, I'm okay with Suicide Squad. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I guess it just people's appeal, like how they, well, I guess what they want from DC. But I hope DC does well though, because I've grown up watching DC stuff. Like I watch DC and I watch Marvel, but at the same time I love DC more. So I hope they do well with it. I'm really excited for what they have in like getting ready for future installments, like what they're gonna do with Wonder Woman. Hopefully the Batman solo film that they're teasing. And then, and at the end of the credits, which I was shocked they had an end credit scene because that's usually Marvel's thing. So I stayed in my seat just in case because I don't want to go home and be like, there was an end credit scene. It just showed Justice League and the lead up to it. I mean, if you've seen the Comic-Con trailer, then you know what Batman is going to do. He's going to go and look and try to recruit the Flash and Aquaman, which is what happened in this scene because Amanda Waller gave Bruce Wayne this package that had metahumans in it. So it had the Enchantress, it had the Flash, it had Aquaman in it. So it just showing, this is the next thing that's going to happen in our DC universe. We already knew that though. And then she also hinted how she knew that he's Bruce Wayne, how she's like, you need to take a break or you need to stop doing your night job, or like, I can't remember exactly what the line was, but she just hinted that she knew what he does in the nighttime, so she knows that he is Batman. So yeah, overall, this film to me was fun. I feel like I would need to watch it again maybe to totally appreciate it, because I mean, you're watching it for the first time and then you're just like, you're critiquing it because of what your expectations are and what you know from previous entries like the comic books and the cartoons. Overall, I did like it. I really, really, really hope DC does well with their universe because they've done well with their cartoons. They do well with the TV shows like The Flash and The Arrow. A lot of people like that. I like that. I hope they do well, but I'm really, really, really hoping for Wonder Woman to do well because we've never seen her on the big screen before, and the Justice League to do well. So that's our review of Suicide Squad. If you guys have anything that I missed, leave it down in the comment section below. And if you guys don't agree with what I said or agree with what I said, leave it down below. I'd love to hear your opinions. And hopefully I'll make more videos of me doing other reviews. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh. Okay, so it's like quick time events. If I was a villain, I would scare the hell out of me.
Bruce, you can't keep doing this.
I have to.